Welcome to the slouch theory. Oh, slouch theory. Slouching. Slouching.
Holy moly. Is it working? Is it working? Holy moly. Oh, yeah, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Holy moly. Yeah, boy, we about to get going to Del snip. Hold on, did I press ignore or I invited? Oh no, it's working. It's fucking working. Dude!
Yo,
What up, bruh?
just living this little lifestyle.
Facts. Yo, ain't it funny how like you ever catch yourself saying old people shit?
A lot, dude.
Like, there's no way we would have said any of our conversations when we was like 8 years ago. We would have never been like, just living this here life there, boy. just out here, go ahead, living this here life, chill. You know what I'm saying?
I have a Jamaican accent.
You just turn into a black uncle out of nowhere. Like you age into a black uncle.
I think I was yelling until like 2021. Just pure like
It was
excitement.
rapping.
Like walking,
Sporadic.
dude. I'll still write songs, but I'm not rapping down the street.
You would be outside just loose with it.
Dude. And also like I would battle people that didn't rap.
That'd be mad funny. You definitely did that to me before.
Just like I'm just like who like
Who motherfucker hot skillets? And it's like, wait, Nick, like we was chilling just now. Why you coming at me with bars for?
I remember one time it was like me and whoever after a show just like sitting at the bar and I was just like, I don't know, hot from the show. Hyped up. So I go to take a piss and I'm rapping because I wasn't talking, I guess. So there's a dude next to me who like kind of like listens to me and he's like,
Hold on, in the bathroom?
in the back, yeah, like he's just like kissing next to me because I have no regard for people's space. And he like turns to like acknowledge that a person next to him is fucking rhyming a song.
And it was Puff Daddy, and now you got a record label.
And I got dropped from the record label later that night. No, but he was like looking at me and I was like, oh, like this motherfucker's really trying to battle right now. And I'm like, what's up? Like, do you rap? Which is that's a crazy fucking question to ask somebody.
As an
dude.
opener, yo, what up, bro? Especially in the bathroom. What
Dude,
up, son?
both
You got
keys,
bars?
mid flow in two ways. And he looks at me and he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, like, then what's up? And he's like, nothing, you're just rapping. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I guess that makes sense that it's a crazy thing to do.
He's like, no, I don't rap, nigga. You're the weird one here.
Dude, it literally be like if you're unicycling in CVS and then someone looked at you and you were like, oh, I guess this.
Oh, so what's up?
He could unicycle.
You want a uni battle, motherfucker? You want a uni battle? But here's the thing, bro. As somebody, like I have a belief that when I turn 33, I'm gonna be able to rap out of nowhere. And I mean, like, I'm gonna be just, I don't know. I really think like on some Cinderella shit, bro. Like I'm gonna be chilling with my peoples. We talking and shit, regular. The clock hit 12:01. I'm fucking bars, nigga, just out of nowhere. I just think
Rhymes. Yeah.
at 33.
You said this to me before. And I think it's like
It's coming.
I think it's coming, but I think it's because you already can and you don't want to yet.
All right. So here's the thing though.
Here it is.
Because
you're like, oh, okay.
you know what it
have
is?
like a song or two. Drop a beat.
It's like the problem. I think the biggest issue. I want to rap, and maybe I got like a decent 16-ish, maybe. But the thing that's stopping me, bro, is that I want to sound like a real rapper. I don't want to just sound like, any of these miscellaneous motherfuckers. I want to start talking and I sound like Black Thought out of nowhere. I just want to sound like this nigga. But I can't just be that level of good instantly. It's crazy.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, and I wish I did this. I wish the first like 10 years I did in stand-up, I just did it as Frankie Bellabazzi and just I wore a fake mustache and then 12 years in or whatever, I pull it off and I'm like, yo, I'm Nick Callas. It was my first day doing stand-up. And I'm like,
oh my God, you're the best ever.
Yeah. Dude, you just make songs and you don't release them. That's the same thing, right? Because nobody's like, the thing about starting like a new craft or talent or whatever is like part of it is being like, I do this now. Like you have to.
Identifying with it.
Yeah.
All the psychological shit that come with it.
Totally, dude. That's a huge part of it. That's tough. But as far as like the way your voice sounds cool as shit. Like,
yeah, no, I believe that I have like the voice for rap or whatever, because it's also necessary to even just do podcasts and have people that be to be okay with hearing your voice for a long time. It's like, yeah, you gotta have you can't say, because there's so many differences, but there's like it wraps up to this: you're not annoying. Like your voice isn't annoying to hear,
or even like, is it interesting?
Yeah, like you gotta want it.
Yeah, dude, you gotta sound like somebody who wants to sound like somebody people want to listen to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rappers now who like specifically on purpose have like an annoying voice, but you can tell that they're just trying to land on something different or like eye-catching. Because like, dude, the first time I heard Chance, I was like, is this a fucking baby? Like, who
I remember the first time I heard Chance. I was like, I found I guess the word's inspiration in thinking about like a Chance, and that also made me think about like a Macy Gray too. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, it's the idea of an unconventional voice,
right,
and possibly like way of making music, approaching vocally. So like to let that out, it's kind of brave, because it's like this. I don't sound like how anybody's expecting shit to sound. Is gonna be different.
And it's also this thing where like, that obviously he's like playing with vocal tone and inflection and stuff, but he sounds like that. Like if you listen to him talk, like that's what he sounds like.
Yeah. And
the reason it sounds good when he's rapping is because it's authentic to him. Like Childish Gambino too, like he sounded like he was saying like Wayne type of bars, but in his voice. And it's just like, it hits you weird the first couple times. And like, you're just like, but it's like good. Like the rapping is good. And then it kind of sticks it. Like I remember even the first time I heard Hobson, I was like, I don't like this, but
shit. I remember that guy. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah. He's still like same shit, like doing festivals.
That's the other thing too. You end up, it's kind of like comedy where you, there's like the big five that's on TV all day, every day, all the time.
Right.
And then you easily can forget that there's a lot of people.
Dude, there's a lot of people
with careers working.
Yeah, man. Because like, and it happens with us and our friends, right? Because like, if you don't follow someone on Instagram, you might miss their whole life.
It's
Like I'll
crazy.
fuck around and like see something on accident. And I'm like, oh, he's got a baby. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're like, oh, that guy's still on tour. Nice. Like he's gonna be in Seattle when I'm, or you know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, it is crazy how you something just happens over here and you just forget that like there's a whole nother type of different but similar bag that guy could be getting.
Yeah.
And you just don't see him around, so you just go,
Out of sight, the whole out of sight, out of mind shit.
yeah, comedy
Yeah.
swallowed that guy.
But the thing with the whole like the sound, I was thinking is like, all right, not only the actual infliction of the voice or how the voice carries, like not just that, but like the style.
Right.
Like when you think of comedy, when they say find your voice in comedy, they're not just talking about like, you know, what octave do you speak at? It's like, how are you
Right.
approaching? Like, what's your style? So like,
Right.
I'm sure when you started, you didn't like say this is. You had a goal of what you wanted to sound like and what you wanted to do on stage, like a vision, but you had to find your way to that. It didn't just come out right away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even when you look at like Jay-Z, how Jay-Z used to rap when he first started, and then now, when Jay-Z was on some, like, mad fucking fast, and then you look at the new, it's like that type of shit I be thinking about, bro.
Well, dude, you know what I think it is like, all right, so you look at your favorites, and your favorites resonate with you for, I always think it comes down to two reasons. It's impressive, like you've never seen that and you think it's awesome. Yeah. But then there's also a piece of that that's in you and you haven't seen it on the outside yet, right? So like dude, the comedians that I resonate with most are the ones that I am naturally express myself similarly to, right? Like guys who do characters and who do like big, silly, physical shit, like that's just like when I was a kid, like that's what my brothers and I would do. So when I saw that on TV, professional, I was like, oh, that's the best stuff. That just felt akin to like the way my family communicated and stuff. So then I think when you start, what you try to do is you're like, all right, well, I got to bite off more than I can chew and like do as much as I can of that. And then like over the years, you kind of whittle it back to you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, when I first started, I had like, for no reason, act outs that were just like, I would literally go as a method of like how to get better and not be scared on stage. I'd be like, how do I like end up on the ground and like roll around? I'm like, oh, if I'm caught in a net, that'd be really funny. Like, what life experience do I have that like I could be caught in a net? And I'm like, oh, well, what if I like got caught masturbating, but I got literally caught? And then that's what a joke was for me. You know what I mean? Like, does it have there's nothing real in it.
You found a reason to get to the
I would
point.
Reverse engineer. Whereas now, dude, I'll go on stage and I'll be like, dude, like teachers need to be paid more, and I'll just freak out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that like, that's why I think you would be able to rap, is because you're natural at comedy. Like you never learned how to do comedy. You got better at it. But like, I'm the first time I ever saw you, you were just a dude talking about his life who was funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could figure it out.
Makes me that there was a standout. We was at the fucking comic strip for late night, and it was, I think I didn't come to late night for like probably like 1 week, but like in stand-up days, especially as like the fiends, we were retarded fiend out for stand-up. Like 1922 us was like, yo, did you do 47 spots this week? Like we was freaked the fuck out. And I remember like I didn't come for like 1 week, and I came like on like, I think it was like a Sunday, like one of them the last night, and I did a joke or a rant almost about when this woman held the door open for me at the mall, and it did well in the room, but it was the way you was talking to me about the shit after, where you were like, the fact that you was like, you spoke about 5 minutes because some women held the door for you, son.
Yeah. And
that the fact that you pointed out, like, yo, you were like, yo, pay attention to that.
Right.
Just pay attention to the fact that like I feel like you saw that I wasn't cognizant of what I was doing, that I was just like in my head of it, just, you know, just doing it.
Sure.
But you like saw the stitching on the ball, like, nah, that's not just regular. Like, that's a thing.
Right.
That's a thing
Yeah,
you're doing.
Totally.
You gotta, you was like, follow that shit.
100%.
That was like, it stood out.
Because the thing is, like, especially when you're new in it and there's other guys that are new in it and they're your same age, you're like really trying to like, let's be, and you have the thing that if like, because I hate to sound like comedy elitist, right? Like I have like an idea of what I think is actually good, but like, it's just the thing I like most as opposed to like what other people do. Like some people are heavily contrived the comedy, like they write, oh, he said this and that didn't happen, but then I said this and that didn't happen. Whereas like the humor in your humor comes from you experiencing it in real time in front of the audience. Like even if it's, you know, if you're having some revelation, it's watching you figure it out. Cause like the words are as funny as you decide the words are gonna be, but it's like you that's funny.
Yeah, it's like that's like when you see the transcription of a set,
right?
You see the words on the paper and it's like you can't read how that sentence gotta laugh. It doesn't,
dude.
It's the craziest shit.
When I was a bit newer, it would be, okay, I need this to be funny on paper because otherwise it's not well written enough jokes. Whereas now, if I look at it and it reads like jokes, I'm worried. I'm like, one, I'm not going to be excited about this because like I know how to say it and so it's boring. And also like, I don't like jokes. You know what I mean? Like I know that if I'm not like experiencing it and it's new and spontaneous and like really felt, that it's not what I want to be doing. So even if it's like a good, actually, I was like so impressed with your, is it Fallon or Seth? Fallon, right?
Fallon, yeah, the Fallon.
Your Fallon set to me is so good because whenever I catch one of those, it feels like a list of jokes that someone is reading you. So I was born in Kentucky.
But they, bro, I think that's the machine of it because they tried to get that from me. They definitely wanted like they gave me, I had to write the words. I had to write my set out word by word, how I would say it in the order of everything I would say it in. And
you were like, I'm not only gonna not do that, I'm also gonna say fuck in the middle of my set.
Bro, it wasn't intentional. You know, like honestly, I was trying to do the job.
Oh, I know exactly what it was.
I was
Your
trying to do it.
Self came out for a second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was trying to do it.
But you were like, oh shit, this is like going well.
Yes. Hey. And then something like I heard like a good pop of a laugh, and then I was like, oh word, my nigga, so son. Fam, so I was coming down the fucking block, right? Like I just got excited. I got excited, bro.
It made me so happy because when I saw it, it was cut, so I didn't know what you said, but I could see your eyes like light up. And I was like, dude, he's fucking Andre up there. Like me and Rich were talking about it, that like obviously you have to do some level of like whatever, put on a shirt that maybe you wouldn't wear, and like you can't move that much too. Like that's the thing that's weird about it to me too. But like you were so you, man, and like it's just that was a cool moment. Like that was exciting.
That shit, bro. Nerve wracking. The
then,
second
like,
I cursed, I was like, I done fucked it up. I'm gonna have to get me a job at Amazon, nigga. I done fucked it up. The second I cursed, I was like, God damn it, son. I gotta fill out an application.
You just like, you know they're not gonna air it, so you're just like,
hey,
you know what?
Well, fuck it. That's the whole thing now. I done fucked it up.
You just stop. You're like, healthcare. Huh?
There's real problems in the world. Bro, I always think about, there's 2 jokes I've seen you do, and it's very physical. Actually, there's 3 that these are like burnt into my memory, and it like like I watch it like separate from knowing you. Like I just watch it like I'm just in the audience, like I'm just another motherfucker. I got work tomorrow. You did the shit with the Japanese dude killing the harikari, that shit. This because I know you're not saying real Japanese sentences.
Nah, I'm saying special attacks from Naruto.
It sound perfect. You're talking, you're doing the cuts. That shit, the one with the Velociraptor.
Yeah.
You become a fucking Velociraptor. And then you had one where you picked up the fucking mic stand and was like telling the bitch to get back or something.
Oh. Dude,
You were like hiding, and the fucking mic stand part, the reason it stuck out, the trip to get to the reason to pick up the mic stand, if you're gonna say it's a 5-minute set, that part of it was about 1 minute and 30 seconds. The rest of the time was this motherfucker with a mic stand jousting in the audience. Like, bro, moments like that, and this is why I'm bringing it right back to rap. I want to have a style. When I come, I hear certain rappers go, and I'm like, ooh, how the fuck did you know when you speak and when you hear the record, how the fuck did you know the words is supposed to sound like that? The same way where you're performing and you're doing these, it's not regular physical shit.
Right.
It's extra fucking physical. I've seen you do the shit where you act out stepping over the fuck, like you step over something and you pick your feet up like ballerina level high. So it's like, there's no game plan that can tell you this is how you're supposed to move your body for this. Or this is how you're supposed to speak on this type of beat. But how the fuck does a person know?
Yo, you know what I think it is, man? I think it's like, it's corny, but that's why it's in you. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's some combination of like influences from growing up and watching a bunch of different shit. It's some combination of like, oh, well, like that's literally how my mom moved, or it's like a lot of shit that's baked in when you're a kid, but also it's just like what's true to me. You know what I mean? Like, it would feel like if you were standing in front of a bunch of different guys and you were like, hey, throw this football, each one of them would throw it in like a slightly different way, but that's just like how that guy throws. You know what I mean? And like with any art form, I think the better you get to a point where, okay, now you're you. Like, I got 1 million comic books around here, and it's interesting to chart the guy's growth, because the further you back, you go, oh, he draws like Neil Adams, who was the best comic book artist when he was growing up. But then, 10 years later, his shit looks completely
different thing.
There's 10% of that first thing in there, but it's like he's like, this is how I draw a mailbox or whatever. And like, dude, I'm telling you that, like, especially because you have so much experience with stand-up and you're used to being on a mic podcasting, like, you'll play a beat and then the first line will just come to you in a way that somebody else hears it and it comes out completely different, but it's like, it's just you know what I mean? You're just giving it you. Because if you find yourself, like, I remember early in stand-up, I'd be like, oh, like, how would like Louis write this? And so you're like trying to figure out another guy's way to do it. But then eventually you just honor yourself. You're just like, follow your own feeling. Dude, you should just fucking make a couple songs.
Woo!
Try to make them as like weird and random as you can. And listen back to it and you'll be like, okay, well, that's where I was like trying to do this one thing. But over here, like, I didn't even think to try that. I just did it.
It's so like with comedy, there is, when you're doing stand-up, there is a beat and like a rhythm and a cadence, but this is the big difference. This is the big caveat. It's not there until it's presented.
Yeah.
So like with music, there could be 7 of us lined up to step in the booth and freestyle over a single beat. The beat is gonna stay consistently the same. The rhythm, the cadence is already there. So each of us stylistically will go inside and try to have our style find a way to match what's necessary to be on that beat, to be on rhythm.
Right.
Because no rapper, even pick any rapper, he doesn't sound the same on a Just Blaze beat as he does on the Pharrell beat, because so they switch up the flow.
Right.
But with comedy, the beat, the rhythm, and all of that shit doesn't come out until you start speaking.
Right.
Until you get into your shit.
Yo, it's so interesting because sometimes, like, me and Andreas, my brother and I will just play a beat, and then we'll be like, yo, like, what would Drake say? Or like, what would J. Cole say? And we'll try to like approximate that flow. And it's so fun to do because like, when you're doing it, like some guys will wait like a half a bar to speak. Some guys will open on some like, whatever sing-songy thing, but like, what it sounds like. And it's interesting that with stand-up, you can't like, with stand-up, you can't, even if you write the joke in your head and you picture yourself killing with it, until you try it with a real audience, you don't know if like that music is the right song to make the idea funny. Because sometimes like I have a clip where I watch it and I'm like, yo, that is literally exactly how I pictured that joke would go. And then I have other things where I'm like, that joke doesn't even work yet. Like, I don't even know how. And I guess just like over time, the way you write it in your head and the way that it works on stage, like they get closer and closer and closer. Yeah. So eventually, like everything you say is just works.
But all right, so like there's a part of that. There's like I think a lot of them are from like Detroit or maybe like Bay Area a little bit too. But there's like a style of rap where they intentionally don't fucking be on beat, kind of. You know what I mean? I think this nigga
like
named
E40.
Young Nudie, they're like, they have nothing to do with the beat.
Yeah.
Like it's intentional. You can hear on purpose. Oh, you don't even give a fuck.
Right.
But it's not like they're ignoring it, because when they have a different song, they're not on beat, but differently. Again, it's fucking crazy. It's like, how do you have several different flows of not on beat?
That's so funny. Like if you take an E40 vocal and you put it on a different song, it doesn't work.
It's still not on beat.
Yeah.
But it's I get it. It sound good. I understand. I listen to Young Nudie and E40 and all these stuff, and I'm like, I get it. Even when I think of some old like Sugar Free, where he's damn near, he's not. It's like he's not rapping. It's like he's talking. He's speed talking. He's talking quickly.
Right.
Because like the words aren't necessarily directly related to each. If you look at it in a bar form and try to, when you fit the ends,
right,
the words don't relate. It's just sentences. He's just talking.
Dude, it's interesting because like, especially when I like those tracks where it's like a jam track where it'll have like just a posse cut of like 11 guys on it. Yeah. And you're like, it's like you said, it's the same exact beat, but how do they sound? They highlight different parts of the instrument.
Different, yeah.
And it's because like everybody is speaking to a different part of the instrumental, right? Like some guys are like, all I give a fuck about is the snare. Whatever the kick drum is, like that's what I'm gonna land on. Other guys are like, oh, there's a melody in here, and I'm gonna and speak to that melody. And then when you listen to them all on top of each in the same song, you're like, oh, okay, like this guy makes the beat sound like this, and then this guy makes it sound like this, but it's the same exact fucking thing. And I think the best ones are like, if you get like, if it's like a 42 bar verse and there's a little bit of everything. Like when Busta does those songs where the whole thing is one.
Busta's great for that.
Dude, you get every single fucking piece of the cow, right?
Like, that's the shit that when I hear certain people like that, bro, it fucking blows my mind. because what the fuck told you to stop? How did you decide for the words? Because they'll say Busta will do some shit like he's like, and then and it's just like, how the fuck was that the decision? How did you get to that?
Dude, it's crazy. There's something in the song that to him sounds like that.
I'm telling
you, like I heard
they experience that shit different. It's crazy.
For sure, dude. Even like when I'm writing something, I'll know what comes next. You know, because the thing is, there's a lot of rappers, especially the ones that rhyme a lot or do a lot of like flow stuff. They'll play the beat and then they'll literally go like papa da sada ba papa la ba chaba da ba saba da ba, and then they'll go, okay, what rhymes with papa da chaba da saba da ba da saba da?
Shit.
And then they'll just replace the sound, because
I've seen like little clips of people doing okay, word.
Yeah, dude, like it's easier to, because here's the thing, if you write this beautiful, amazing, it's the most truthful, poetic verse ever, and then you play the song, it might not work. Like it doesn't always fit. But if you write the sound first, and then you can go, okay, I'm about to get it when I get it again, and then you just find the words to fit the sound. It's a lot easier.
But that's the thing too. So like, that's why I feel like there's like a difference in certain people and how they experience the thing that they are that they happen to be good at. Like there's a video of Pharrell and Kanye at Nego fucking like fashion show, and the music is playing and shit, beat going off, but then you watching, everybody's, you know, bopping their head listening to the music, but when you see Pharrell and Kanye, like they're not dancers, but like their entire body is like playing. You can see them playing 40 instruments.
Yeah.
You can see his foot doing the drum shit, then his hand, he can't help himself. So it's like the same thing that makes you hear that and experience that is what will dictate for you to be like, because you hear the beat, but you also already hear what sounds would be well associated with that beat, and then you can fill it in. But it's based off of how you relate to the sound differently.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good. Because
if I hear a crazy instrumental, my first inclination is just, oh, that shit hard. Like I don't I don't have no like fucking like it doesn't do that. I just hear fire.
I think it comes though, because like, all right, your voice is an instrument, right? Like a lot of musicians would categorize themselves as vocalists who don't play an instrument. They play their vocal cord, their vocalists, right? So like, if you think about it, like if one guy is just playing drums, right? Dun, dun, ch, dun, 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 ch. Before there's anything else there, then a fucking trumpet player comes in and he knows how to fit in the dun, dun, ch, dun, dun, dun. And then a vocalist comes in and is like, I don't know. And then it just like, it's part of the music.
They all fucking get it.
Yeah, dude, because if you're fucking Yugoslavian and you don't know English, that just is another instrument.
Fair.
You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, I like the instrument that goes. Da, 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 da.
But here's the wild shit too, though, and this is how I look at like, fuck, when Pharrell made, I forgot what beat it was, but he took some Indian song from like crazy far, like this shit was from like 1940s India or something like that, right? And here go Pharrell, black dude in hip hop. How the fuck did you even find out about this 1940s Indian song? And then he takes a sound from that shit and puts it with some hip, and then we got some gangster niggas rapping over it, and it's the hardest shit ever.
It's so cool, dude.
That is like, different, bro.
Dude, noises don't discriminate, right? Like
that's different. Son.
It's just like it could be the fucking sound of like some Indian guy, like, I don't know, like getting dust off of a carpet or something, but like pair it with a nice drum kit
and then put a loop on it, and it's like, yo, that carpet slap. That shit hard, cuz it's different, son.
Yeah, dude, you know what I find so funny? Like, there's so much music now that is digital, and it's like literally the sounds, and I don't understand this at all. The sounds are made in a computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're walking in the woods, just like in Earth, and you heard a synth, like a synthesizer that goes around, you would literally be like, "What the fuck?" Like you would run. You'd have no reference for what that noise is.
Yeah. But that's the thing too.
Totally imaginary.
It's only imaginary, but it's also depending on what materials you're around. Because a synth, I feel like, could be heard if there's enough metals.
Yeah, if you're like in a mineral.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever had some like, it's a type of sword too, where you even seen the kung fu movies where it's a metal, but it's like very light, so it's wavy.
Right.
The sound that shit can give off if it touches the right other thing, you know, and then because of the weight of it's so crazy. We probably sound autistic at this point.
Yeah, I think anybody listening is like, all right, guys, relax. No, you're totally right. Dude, you ever like do some shit on accident and then you hear the sound and you're like, oh, like that's a fucking Android text.
Son,
but it's
I've
like
done
you dropped your
dumb shit. I be by myself. And if like, I don't know, bro, like I probably crumple paper a certain way, but it's like a weird, no, actually this is a concrete one. There's a garbage can in the kitchen. And when you step on the fucking, you know, the foot pedal to open it, it smacks the back of the wall, but because of the metal, it makes like a gong sound.
Yeah.
So like I'll step on it and it does like the type of sound you would hear before you hear the announcer go fight.
Right.
And I'll step on that shit on purpose. I don't got no garbage, nigga. I just want to hear the sound again. Like I'll just come in and it just step on that pad loosely just to hear that shit.
Dude, there'll be moments and like you can't replicate them even if you want. Like that one, you just step on the thing, whatever, right? But like sometimes I'll be like walking or something, or I'll just be like cleaning shit up in an apartment, and then like I'll like do something on X, I'll drop something, and it'll be like the exact sound from like Super Mario when you like run over a banana, and I'm like, is that how they got it? Like this dude just like dropped the Skittle or something, and then that's sound?
Possible because like think about it. There was if we pick anything you can make a sound with. You got, especially now, bro. It's insane. Take your voice memo shit. Put your phone close to whatever you're about to make the sound with. Record it. Then you could just send that clip. You can edit it up a little bit, clean it up with some, and throw that shit in a loop. And now you got garbage can, whatever the fuck.
I do it all the time for like editing sketches and stuff. If I like can't find the exact sound effect, or like it doesn't sound close enough, or it sounds too metally, or it's not like it's supposed to be on a wood floor or not concrete, shit like that, I'll just play with it like in Audition or in Premiere. I'll just change the pitch and I'll find a way, I'll back it with something else. Like it's Foley, right? Like, you know, you watch the Transformers movies and the Foley artists are like, oh, well, obviously there's no Optimus Prime in real life. So to get the sound of him transforming, we beat a penguin with a bag of M&M's. Like, and then you're just like, holy shit. Like, it's one of those things that like, it can make a scary movie not as scary. Because like when they cut to the monster and he like growls, it's actually just like a pitch shifted, like sloshing of a water bottle or something.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like you can just mess with stuff.
Make shit up.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's honestly sick. Like all those like, even dude, footsteps. I was making a sport with one of my buddies, and he was like we were doing the taking. It was just a shot of my feet, and I was like, "Do we need audio?" And he's like, "Nah, like I'll Foley it." And I'm like, well, I'm just walking, dude. Like you can get it. Like why replace my feet? And then he did. It sounded 10 times better.
But what did he do to get it?
I don't remember what he did exactly. He might have just got like footsteps from somebody else, but like he on a different floor, like different shoes, and it sounded more like a movie, which is interesting because sometimes what you actually hear doesn't sound good.
I feel
you know what I mean? Like if I got up and just walked across the room, like it would just sound like, I don't know, like life.
Yeah.
But like the way fucking
you want it to sound intentional.
Yeah.
The footsteps carry purpose.
Like, dude, when in Dragon Ball Z when they walk, right? It's literally that's five parts of a foot hitting the ground.
It helps create this tension that when the footsteps finally stop, it's supposed to mean something else is supposed to occur. Like you're supposed to already be anticipating, okay, those footsteps come with something.
Right, 100%. Yeah.
And
They
then
have, like,
otherwise
a
it's just
flavor.
regular.
Right.
Fair enough. That's the shit, bro. This like I just see myself sometimes when I daydream about this shit, bro, that I just open my mouth and it's just like a fucking I just gotta flow, bro. I gotta
I'm telling you, dude, record yourself freestyling, because what'll happen is you'll be freestyling and then suddenly you'll be like, yo, that was fucking amazing. For 4 bars, I just like not only rhymed, but said some incredible shit. And then you'll be like, all right, let me record it. And then you'll suck for like 3 beats. But then eventually you'll just accidentally, because you're caught in the flow, do some amazing shit. And then you have it. And then you just cut out the first 3 songs. And then you're like, all right, well, how do I build off this? Like, that's how I think every good song is written. Like, you just listen to it, you freestyle, eventually you find some nugget, and then you know, that was the same thing with jokes, right? Like, you're like, all right, the first beginning of that story sucks, but like, if I just get to this part,
it'll be cleared up.
Yeah.
All right. Home, bruh. I have this like, not Fight Club. I'm thinking like a battle rap situation, but based off of like comedy icons, because none of these motherfuckers rap. So I'm thinking just based off of what we know of the comics we know of, how we grew up watching them, on some Patrice versus Bill Burr. Like fucking Louis C.K. versus Chris Rock.
Is it like
who would have I imagine, and I don't know if it's just because like something about Patrice, I feel like that nigga could, if he wanted, he could have been bars, nigga. Like,
oh, I see what you're saying. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, based off of
who would rap?
Who would be able to, I see Patrice being on some like some Jay-Z shit. Like, I step in the booth, I never write no rhymes down.
Dude, I think it's the same.
He's a swaggy motherfucker. He'll step in, be on some pimp shit.
Bro, so Cat could rap.
Cat, I see Cat actually tried though.
But that's the thing. If he was 15 years later, 20 years later, dude,
like coming up,
there's
now,
a market. Yeah, like, dude, because like Childish, right? And like, there's other people. Like now, I feel like everybody raps a little bit,
Jamie,
and everybody
Foxx,
like does comedy a little.
Like
everybody like has a whatever. But like back then, you had to like present yourself as one thing, and that one thing had to be perfect and shit. But like Patrice definitely could have done it. Like, yo, like you're telling me Seinfeld couldn't be like Dr. Seuss?
I don't know. Seinfeld.
Hold up.
Funny.
I'm not saying
there's
it would
a certain
be good.
type of energy.
I'm not saying it would be good, but I'm saying it would fucking like it would be like on
there's
some
a
like
certain kind of Seinfeld. I don't
forget
think
the
yells,
rapper,
bro.
Forget about the rapper. I'm talking about
you know what?
Writing bars.
Wait,
dude.
Wait. Because I'm trying to think of.
He'll be like
T-Rex. Solely off of like.
Dude, he'd be like Daylight. It'd be like bars.
I was thinking that Seinfeld might be like a Larry June. Because like, you know, like Seinfeld is so extra chill. He doesn't raise his voice.
That's true.
He doesn't. I'm trying to think of how do I envision? Because when I think of Bill Burr rapping, I see
Mystical,
8 Mile, like or Mystical. Like I see a motherfucker yelling. Like
yeah.
I see a motherfucker losing it on a nigga. Like
right.
That's how I see.
Okay,
Bird.
wait. So you're talking about battle rappers, not songs.
Any context.
Because battle rapper, you got to imagine it would just be their stand up at somebody.
Is their stand up at somebody? But when you don't rap the way you do stand up. You see what I'm saying? There's a different thing that takes over.
There's a different thing, yeah.
There's a like imagine I'm seeing it like, you know, you playing a fighting game and you get a different skin. like like something else. There's like a change because rap got its own
right. It had
spirit to it.
I was thinking about that. Okay, so
it got its own thing.
Bro, if I got on my story today and I was like, yo, I'm the fucking best comedian ever, challenge it. Like
Mhm.
people would be like, dude, you're not my friend
You're an
anymore.
asshole.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
fuck you.
But part of rap is that you're supposed
supposed
to say,
to.
I fucking wish anything else was like that, dude. Even
How-
like if you're a
why
fucking
can't
delivery
I
guy,
like
bro.
myself?
Dude, if you work at fucking FedEx, you can't be like, you guys can't deliver shit.
I
You're a
deliver
fucking
the
pussy."
fuck out these packages, son.
Yeah, you're literally not allowed to have an ego. But if you're a rapper who's like, I might not be the best, everyone's like, I'll never listen to that, dude.
Uh-huh.
It's
That's a
you know what
bitch.
it is, dude? You're fucking. I remember one time this girl I was dating. There was that Kanye line at the time where he was like,
1,000 of you, there's only one of me.
I don't know if it's something like that. It was something that was like definitely inherently misogynistic, and she was rapping it like she wrote it, and I was like, doesn't that like offend you or anything? And she's like, this is what she said, when I listen to Kanye, I'm Kanye. And I was like, yeah, that's for everything, right? Like
Mhm.
good art makes you the artist.
Yeah.
And so you don't care what it is that's being said. It's like the spirit, right? It's like the sentiment of the shit.
I can't even explain how, but it made me think of this. You ever perform, you be on stage, you rocking, doing stand-up. The crowd, you know, it's a full-size room, it's a hot crowd. And you clearly got at least 85% of the room to be in love with you.
Mhm.
But there's always some of these. There's like an older dude or like an older woman. They showing you, I'm a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're like ignoring them. You're not engaging because you already rocking. So you have you have it in your mind of, should I leave this and go address these people that's not rocking with me?
Right.
Or should I just keep going? So you keep going, and then you you kind of like, I think like subconsciously, you go, fucking watch me get you, motherfucker.
Right.
And you
right.
dig in deeper, and then when you crack them, it feels like somebody was trying to resist seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I imagined on some shit like somebody's trying to cover their eyes, and I'm trying to pull their arms off so that they can see it.
Right.
And they're like fighting me, and then I finally like pull their arms away, and then the light gets in, and they're like, "Fuck, I can see it now."
Yeah.
That's how I feel with that when you get a motherfucker to like, because like you were resisting me, but I said something that you felt it too.
Right.
I was your Kanye to, like, when the girl's like, I felt that shit so much that I became that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I pulled you into my world, yo.
They're like sitting there, and it might not even be some shit where you're like, they're like actively disliking the show or something, but maybe they're just like one of those people who is at a show and just like isn't having a fucking blast. Maybe because that's just who that person is.
Yeah.
And then you say something, and they go like, they break.
Uh-huh.
And then, dude, I'll throw the show away after that. I'll be like, I fucking finally got you, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, yes. But
Yeah.
but it's not even. People notice, because I noticed for a fact. Every time you had that moment, and then you go, I finally fucking got you, dude. Don't the rest of the audience celebrate with you?
100%.
Because they can see the people.
Dude,
they can feel it.
You ever feel like, you know what's so funny about the audience, dude? I realized this like recently. They think we don't know what's happening in the audience.
Yeah.
They'll be like somebody who's not trying to laugh or not having a good time, or when the host is up, something happened, and the audience is trying to look at you and go like, ha, ha, ha. They're like trying to keep it under wraps, right? Like their child is like misbehaving over here, and they're trying to just be like, oh yeah. And then eventually you'll do something where you cue into it or you address it, and then the audience laughs in this way. They're like, oh, we didn't want to tell you, but you knew the whole time. Like
I always say, it's like the TV's talking back.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
Because that's how it feels. Like a lot of times, like certain audience members they have like this glossing over almost kind of like, you can talk, you can see me. Like they have this thing of like, they don't realize this is a live perform. Like we are here.
you can do well on a show just by being the first comic to talk to the audience.
To really be there with them.
Yeah. Like if 5 go up in a row and they get right into their jokes, you could just automatically do better if your jokes are still good. But just by being like, like nice hat or whatever, and then they're like,
yeah, it's like, you know, that I attribute that to just like being completely present.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I always say this where I'm like, if I go, I'm gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I always tell myself. So it's like, I started telling myself this in the context of you don't know who's in the audience.
Right.
And you don't know what could happen if you try.
Yep. 100%.
So then it started off of that of just if you're gonna come, you came down here, dude.
Yeah.
You did you're here.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be here and fuck it off and waste time and act like you don't want to be here and try to be cool or some stupid shit.
Right.
Or you could legitimately do what's real and be here. Like, actually be in this room with them. Like, they here, bro.
It's so important because the thing is, like, hopefully most of the time you go, you show up, you do great, you have fun, and it never was a question of whether or not you needed to turn it on and try just because you feel good, whatever. You're not down. But then sometimes you do need to like fucking activate because you're just living your life and then you got to go do a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you like wait in a box all day ready to perform. You're like,
that's real.
Shit's happening, whatever. So, because I have the same thing too, where I got to be like, all right, hang on. This is an opportunity. Everything's an opportunity. Have fun, blah, blah, blah. And then after the show, I will have committed really hard and found a new joke or had a great set when I thought it was a shitty show.
Yeah.
Or somebody comes up to me afterwards and is like, oh, like you should come do this show on the road. Or it's just like some guy who's like, dude, like this was the best night of my week or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go like, oh man, thank God I tried. I'm so glad I tried.
Absolutely.
Because, dude, there's nights where you don't, and then you go home and you're like, this was 4 hours and I hate myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst. Because showing up is half the battle, but dude, showing up to a fist fight is half the battle. You're gonna get your fucking ass beat if you don't try. That's not enough to win, just going.
That's true.
Dude, like if a boxer was like, all right, I'm here, like that's enough. Like
you did it, boys.
You gotta put your hands up, man.
I got the gloves. We look good in our outfits. Let's go home, everybody.
Yeah.
Just punch that nigga dead in the face.
Yeah.
But
he's like,
I was
thinking, like, I thought he was gonna bring 49%. I was sure I had this in the bag.
This motherfucker used effort.
Fuck me up, dude.
Well, like one of the things is like the idea, like one of my favorite things to witness, like I like this, like separate from me being in it, from me doing it, as like a fan of it, is when a comedian is in life, like talking, and then the name gets called, and then they go.
Yeah,
it's because like I see it. I don't know if it's just like, you know, I'm a anime baby. You know what I'm saying? Like I've probably viewed way too many things in the framework of how I've seen and watched anime. Right. But I see a motherfucker talking, and it's kind of like that Hulk moment where he goes, "I'm always angry," and then he goes and turns, and in the motion of turning, and that's how I see it with like when I'm talking to a comic and we chilling or whatever, and then, you know, me and you macking, yeah, Nick, so then I'll go down there and blah, 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 and then you like, yes, I'm fucking here, and then somebody calls your name, and then you just walk the fuck on stage, and boom,
it's
like
awesome.
That shit to me, son.
Dude, it's so cool because like our thing that we do is a thing you do in life. Like nobody's like playing the trumpet and then they're like, oh, I gotta really play the trumpet.
Yeah.
It's just you're talking and then you're like, let me aim it super hard at
the
audience. dude, it's like you know what it was? I was FaceTiming with my little brother, and I was at the comic strip, and I was hosting, and I'm FaceTiming. I look at this. I'm like, oh shit, I got to bring him up. But we're in the middle of a conversation, and I didn't want to call him back in 3 minutes because he's at work. So I'm not gonna get him back. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna hang up. I'm just like, yo, give me a second. So I just took the phone on stage and I put the phone on the thing. So he's looking at the ceiling, but something happened. So I did like 4 or 5 minutes of crowd work or whatever. So it was like VR being a comedian for him.
Yeah.
And I remember like, I put the phone down and I started talking, and then I forget that it's there.
Yeah.
But then once I got a big laugh, I remembered that it was there, and I'm like, "Yo, this is cool for him."
Yeah.
And then after I was like, "All right, like whatever, fucking give it up for Tony Bananas." Like I got off, and he was like, "Yo, that was awesome. That was like cool to experience." And I was like, "That is like fucking pretty cool. That like it is just like you're Spider-Man, right? You're like, oh shit, like, I have to just go Spider-Man that shit really quick, and I'll be back in a second."
There's two things that stuck out. I remember listening to, like, I forgot who I heard it, but it's a Patrice O'Neal story. You know, the myth, the man, the legend. It's a Patrice O'Neal story. And somebody was saying that they were talking to Patrice, and he's like Patricing, you know, he's letting them fucking have it. And another thing, and fuck you, and your stupid boots, like he's giving it to him, right? And then somebody announces his name, and then he goes, excuse me, goes up, annihilates, comes back down, and then goes, so like I was saying, y'all was fucking.
Dude, it reminds me of when like your mom ever be like chewing you out or some shit, and then the phone rings.
Oh,
like, I can't believe that you bring. Hi,
Deborah.
Oh my god. Well, you know how it is. Okay, well, not a problem. We're gonna call you back. Okay, sure. Not a problem. You fucking like,
absolutely.
Right into it.
That's like funny when I think of my mom like switching accents.
Dude,
it's the same. Be digging in. It sound like she got here yesterday, and then out of nowhere, hello. I was like, what British woman is this? What the fuck? What the fuck? And then the second thing, bro, was
she goes so far west, she has a British accent.
Bro, she definitely ends up British when she tries to American it. She definitely ends up as a British woman. When she tries to put on the American accent, she carries the two and somehow ends up in Britain. But like, I remember anytime the wildest shit is when you have a friend, a girl, you on a date or something, y'all chilling, y'all talking, she's seeing your date energy all damn night, and then you go, oh, I got a spot right by the joint. You walk over there, you still, yeah, so you know, and then, and then they call your name, you go up, fucking shake the room, and then you come back down, and then everybody's talking to you, and then she's looking at you like, I remember one time the girl said, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
When she
it's
said,
awesome.
What the fuck was that? She's like, I didn't know. That shit made me go, oh, I didn't even think nothing of it. Until
Bro, I
had
fun. Two sets.
That was mad fun.
I had 2 sets in my life that were so good, I had a relationship afterwards.
Nah, nigga. I remember you after Caroline's. After Caroline's, Nick became a motherfucker from Greece. Like, out of nowhere, he had a leather jacket and denim on. He was smoking. He like lit the cigarette in a very like, in like the first Chevrolets. Like this motherfucker had like a thing. His hair flipped when the cigarette lit. It was, you became different, nigga. You became different.
To this day, it still happens, man. But
that shit was fun. Man,
when I was in college, I invited a girl to a show, and I had a set that was so good she dated me, which was the worst relationship of my life. I wish I bombed that.
That's hilarious.
Like, you don't know what you're signing up for, dude. I remember one time my girlfriend now, she came and she saw me at the strip one, and this was like, bro, we were just hanging out. Like this was like
brand new.
one, like knowing her and shit. And she came, whatever, we're kicking it, and like they're excited because like they're dressed up. Like I'm wearing fucking jeans. I probably smell, dude. Like it is not special.
Comments, yes, yo.
They're like, we're going to see a show. Like, dude, the idea of like stand up being a show is like so funny to me. They're like it's like Broadway to them. They're like, oh, it's a show. I'm like, I feel you. On my shirt.
I feel you. However, I'm advocating for the stand-up comedians are artistes.
100%.
Like we are motherfucking Broadway. Because
I'm with you 100%.
The whole Broadway squad be fucking 40 motherfuckers with lights and help and all of that to get the audience to clap and all of that. We can go up there. Real stand-ups can go in that same room by themselves, stand on that stage and shake the room as much as a squad of 700. Like stand-ups are the coldest niggas ever. Coldest motherfuckers ever.
100%. No, you don't. We don't need anything. And that's what I'm saying is like
stand-ups are cold.
That indicates, right? Like the flip. Because like I show up, I'm wearing jeans, blah, blah, blah. She's all done up. She's excited. And then and also, dude, I was following Tracy. And so Tracy went up. He wasn't supposed to be on the show. He just showed up.
Oh, Morgan?
She was freaking out. I'm a comic, so I'm at the comics table. He sat down and was talking to both of us. So she's a part of it now too. She's never seen a celebrity. Absolutely. And this is just like, you know, our life, whatever.
Yeah.
So she's a part of that. And so that blows her mind. And then I followed him and it was one of those, like, I had to like place the higher brick. It was like one of the best sets of my life at that time. And then I got off and I was like, yo, I just got to act like this is a fucking regular. And like, dude, I think she loves me because of that. Like, she doesn't know.
Oh, absolutely.
That was such a formative. Dude, if she was like, let's go ice skating for our first date, and then we did, and then like Michelle
you did a fucking
showed up and was
pirouette.
like, hey, what up? Like, it's me, Michelle Kwan. We're both good at this, and boys. Then I would be like, holy fucking shit.
Hell yeah. That's definitely a big ass part of it.
Without a doubt, dude, because she got to see me in my best light.
And then also, this is the thing where you like talking about, well, you're just wearing jeans and whatever, but you notice the people that do that. It's like the basketball player, the athlete that's like crazy good, or think about like, you know, some martial art movie where it's some little tiny old man that's quiet and mad nice, walks with his hands behind his back, and he's very unassuming. It's because you remember watching fucking Bleach when the little old dude took his shirt off, he was fitting. You know what you about to display is bigger than the outside.
And you don't need the other shit. And also, like, dude, you know, when you're hanging out with comedians before a show or whatever, there's always like one dude who's like, it's the equivalent of the guy who always has his shirt off and can't fight. He's just like trying to be
posturing.
So funny. He's like, oh yeah, I actually did that show and you're just like, you ever bomb in a new shirt?
Oh shit!
That's as a guy. Funny. It's that's like that as
funny. You ever
like,
bomb in a new shirt?
Like
start blaming the clothes. Like fuck. The wrong color.
You're like,
I am never wearing forest green again.
No, but you know what is important, and also life. So, dude, I remember like, and I become more that way because when you really get into it and you really like, you know, you're really in the craft of it. I used to have that whole pre-set up for whenever I was going to film an audition. Now I just like, all right, what's important here? Like, it's easier to get into the flow of it.
Yeah.
There's a comic named Adam Lucidi, and he's so like, and he screams. He's like big and funny. He's like Sam Kinison, but he's also like very physical and like he's just like a really fun, exciting guy to watch. He was one of the first guys I ever saw that like didn't really have like set up punchline jokes. Like he would just like experience. He had this joke about like he catches a mouse in his apartment. And he's holding it by the tail, and he's like, tell your friends. And it was like, he's like doing it as a mob movie. And
Hell
it was
yeah.
like, I was like a week in a comedy. I saw, I was like, I didn't know you could be like that. Right. And I fast forward years later, I'm doing a road gig and they're like, oh, like we're excited to have you. We had Adam Lucidi here last week. We had no idea what he was really like. Like we booked him because we saw his act and we thought he was so funny, but then he just like had his hood and his hat on, like quietly sitting in the corner until they called him up, and then he was like crazy. And I'm like, that's the best way to be. Like I like to be there's definitely a time where I start the show before I'm on stage. Because that's maybe I'm hanging out with friends and it's fun. Maybe I feel like I need to start the engine before I'm on the racetrack. But my favorite way to be is like I'm only here before and after the show, and then the show is the show. Like, dude, if I have a really good set and I'm headlining, you're probably not gonna see me. Like I'll just go home. The only time I'll stay is if a bunch of people specifically came to see me and I want to thank them in person.
Yeah.
But ideally, I leave.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like zeroed out.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel you on that. I don't have like, I remember watching Eagles. He would Eagle. I remember watching this motherfucker after like doing late night at New York Comedy Club. He have a hot set. It's like damn near 1 a.m. And we everybody ready to leave. There's probably like he went up early, so there's like probably like 4 comics left, which means there's like another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And Eagle's like, I'm staying right here until these people come out, and I'm talking to everyone. Like he would talk to all of them.
That's why Eagle has had sex with every human being living right now.
and he got like,
he's like, I'm gonna collect.
He got like a fan base because he would stay. He crush, and then he's like, he hangs the fuck out and talks to them and takes pictures and stay. And like, it's to watch. I'll be watching that like, cause it looked natural,
right?
But to me, it feel unnatural already. Cause like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like on some recluse type shit, but it's not. I don't know. It's just like I kind of want to leave. I want to go. I want to damn near vanish.
I feel you 100%, and I think both of us have been both at times, depending, because my brain and my personality will shift entirely based on what my goal in the moment is.
Well, like I get what he's doing, and it's brilliant, and it works, but like it's just something tough to be like, like I'll be feeling like I'm ready to run.
Part of it is like, yeah, man. Like, I think part of it for me personally is that like any art form, making a video, drawing, music, stand-up, it's this like special place.
You're a little baby.
Yeah, it's like a world that I go to.
Oh yeah.
Like, I want to leave it. Like I don't like to be there for longer than, and like that means a literal place, right? It's like the place of the club. And when I'm done with the job, like I don't really want to be there. I don't know. I don't know exactly what that is, but like I definitely, dude, I think it's the same reason. Like, I put shit away physically in my apartment. Like I'm drawing, right? Like I got these comics and stuff that I'm working on.
Yeah.
The second I decide I am not drawing anymore, it's away. Like I have like a super compartmentalizing thing.
I'm
like
different in that aspect. Like me and like I'm all creative right now. Should just be all over, like papers, books, the mad rent. A camera will be out. Like I just have mad shit out.
Yeah,
and it'll just be out, bro. Like I mean, books open to random pages, notes that don't have nothing to do with each other. My computer open, music be on, the TV.
Right.
Like it's just a storm of shit.
I resonate with that too. So I don't know if maybe I have like a set rule, because like midday, dude, and I don't have something due. Maybe I get that way when I know there's like a top number one priority. And then I
Okay.
force myself to build like little time barriers and walls. And I set, oh, hey, Siri, set an alarm for that kind of shit. But like in the middle of the day and I'm just like in a creative storm, it's the same thing. Like I'll have just, I love it actually. Like I'll look around and I'm like, oh, I'm like a art farmer. I just have like stuff everywhere. I heard Childish said the same thing. He's like, I have this like, I don't know, like a studio or something, and he'll just like have like a paintbrush. He'll do some over here, and then he'll go and he'll like record some shit, and then like, that's my ideal way to exist.
That's the best fucking shit ever.
It's awesome, man.
That's the best fucking shit ever.
And people come over and they're like, "What is your life, dude?"
Yes,
you look like you're trying to solve the Zodiac killing.
Yes,
yeah. Fucking yarn everywhere and shit.
Yeah, but like, all right, do you still write down? Like do you write the same way you feel like you wrote your earlier time?
Not even close, dude.
You probably don't write at all no more. You like more write on stage type of shit.
Yeah, I'll write if there's one important phrase, I'll write that thing. Sometimes it'll just be like candlestick, pillow, and that's enough. Sometimes a specific like punchline will hit me, so I'll write just that, but mostly it'll be the word or two, and then after I've like mostly got the shape of the joke, sometimes I'll write every word of it just to like concretize it in my brain. But when I first started out, yeah, I don't know if that's an actual word, but concrete.
Oh, you don't even know that's an actual word? You never heard it before? You just fucked with it just now? That's
Dude,
how you felt?
I really do think that sometimes I will invent new words that have existed for years just out of confidence.
Okay. Concretize, fuck me up a bit.
That's real. Fuck that. That's real. I already know what it is.
All right. No, I'm dude, that might be the name of this episode. We talked for over an hour. He said all kind of regular shit. Then concretize just came out of nowhere. We got to figure out.
I don't know if you want to call that the episode, just because I doubt there's like a high Google search engine result on concretize.
This should say Cocoa Ties. I can't even find it. But nah, so how did you concretize the work again? Tell me how to concretize it.
The concretization, which actually, dude, I used to draw act outs with stick figures.
That's dope though.
And
that's pretty dope.
The like whatever, I was like a BlackBerry that had a camera or something. When I would shower, you ever do this where you're showering and you come up with a lot of really good stand-up just because you're talking to yourself and like you're free? Yeah. I
get the wake up out of my sleep one more.
I have the opposite. I don't get it in the morning so much as I do going to sleep. I'm about to fall asleep. I'll get something I think is amazing. I'll write it down and then maybe it's okay.
I'll be asleep and then fucking 3:39 a.m. I'm like, nigga, that's hilarious.
Yo, my girl was telling me that I laughed in my sleep.
Oh hell yeah, I've done that.
That's fucking awesome. I don't know that what report about, given. But
I've had that report given. That I was in my sleep giggling. I've definitely had that report given. It's a wild one. I know I freaked the girl out fucking just being knocked out, sleep, and then randomly at 4:12 a.m. popped up giggling. And it's just like, this nigga is a weirdo. I'm sure.
What does your laugh sound like when you're asleep?
Fuck if I know. All of this is coming from reports. You know, girlfriend reports. Women I've dated saying, you were laughing at 2:38 by yourself. And me being up next day at 10 a.m. like, oh shit, my bad. I don't know what to tell you. This is what it is. You still like me?
Isn't that so funny though? Like, if you're laughing in your own dream, there's no like bigger indicator that you think you're funny.
Yo, I be having bro. What did I do the other day? I was driving, son, and I was by my son. I was crying, laughing. One of the ill ones that sticks out to me, I'll never forget this one. I was walking to the comic strip by myself. I'm walking to the comic strip. I am by myself alone. I'm walking up the block. I see some fine ass girl. She look good and shit. I'm like, damn, she look good. I keep walking. And I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if every time I bust a nut for some reason, I start singing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song? And then by myself, I'm walking down the street, West Philadelphia, born and raised, and then I am crying laughing alone, nigga. Alone. I couldn't help myself from not with nobody. I ain't talked to nobody. Seen a fine girl, thought about sex. Then the sex made me think about the enjoying of it. And then I was like, what if I had a mental tick that anytime I reach orgasm, I start rapping
That's
the theme song, the Fresh Prince of
that
Bel-Air.
like that's you. Like the moment, because okay, beautiful girl, she's hot. What if I had sex with her? What would that be like? And I finish. All that is a normal guy thought, but the thought, bro, you jumped 11 thoughts. You didn't fucking drive by Will Smith. You weren't in Philadelphia. You jumped to what if I sang the Fresh Prince theme song? That's like, they should say that at your funeral. They'd be like, Andre was the kind of guy who, when he busted a nut, he would sing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. Like, that's such a, dude, I do it all the time too. Imagine if she turned around and was like, why are you laughing? Like, imagine having
why is this nigga just singing the song in the street for no reason? It just can't. That really is the truth. I skipped mad steps. I did not have anything other than it would be hilarious that I have a mental, like I had a car accident or some shit that makes me, and I just so happen to be listening to the shit and then it got stuck. And anytime, and it's not like I'm happy about it. Sometimes I might be crying, like, saying like, damn, she gonna leave me once I start singing.
You also gotta finish the song.
I gotta finish the song.
Like, hey, West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Bro, that came up as I'm walking to the strip. That I remember that development of, well, what if I have to finish the entire song? It's not like I only can say 3 bars.
Did you do it on stage?
No, this has never been on stage ever.
That's so funny to me. Is that
this has never been on stage ever?
Kind of thought that you have on the way to a show that you go like, fuck it, I'll try it. I'll throw it in at the middle.
Never
of
been on stage. I've never said that on stage.
No, you like in your that honestly, dude. Like most comedians who are out in New York doing stand up now won't come up with something funnier than that, and you're like. That's not material. You have jokes that are probably not as good as that. And you're like, I'm gonna say it material.
Now. Because of this, I'm gonna do it this week. This podcast is gonna come out like I think like two Mondays. So today is the 11th.
And next Monday, you're going to be on Fallon like, fuck, West Philadelphia.
I'm going to do it the week of the 11th to whatever the fuck, I guess the 17th or some shit. It's going to happen. That's on the docket, bro.
Dude, that's I like actually have a hard time with this. Sometimes the funniest ideas are like too simple or too stupid. Like, how do you even set that up? Like, you're just on stage and you just go, what if every time that I came I had to sing? Because here's the thing though, that's either gonna work or not work.
But that's the thing, that's we gotta do that.
You have to.
We gotta do that because it's coming from the same place that the other crazy shit that did work came from.
Right. And if it works, then you'll be like,
shit.
Oh, like of course, yeah. But that's not a joke. That like is a Suba Agarwal figuring it out in a notebook. You know what I mean? That's like you say that about shit, your work, and then you say it for a year and a half after, or you never say it again.
Yeah.
One of those.
That's the risk. That's the risk, though.
Yeah, but some jokes are like, oh, like I got this thing about like my niece's christening, and like I just need to figure. But like, no, this is not a figuring it out.
It's not a figuring out. It's either it's on some like, I heard that my species, when we jump off, we might we should fly if we over 16, but don't nobody know unless they jump.
Right.
And we do have a 30% fail rate. 30% of the species die off every fucking year because some of them niggas don't have wings. So you got to jump to find, and it's the joke. You just take the risk of like, maybe I'll bomb, and that's it.
Yep.
But bruh, please tell the people how to find you. Please tell the people how to find you. You got like seconds.
Yeah. I am on Instagram at Mr. Nick Callas, MrNickCallas, and it's the same on TikTok and YouTube. And just hit me up. I'm doing shows. I'm going on the road, and I'm always making stuff. So I got a bunch of stuff coming soon. So get at me.
Hell yeah, Nick Callas, Slouch Theory. Love y'all. Peace.